Okay, today we're tackling a choice that really defines everything. It's that constant battle between waiting for the perfect moment to show up and just deciding to act right here, right now. It's a decision we all have to make, probably more often than we even realize.
So let's just get right to it. I want you to ask yourself, honestly, are you waiting for something? For all the stars to align before you make your move? Are you waiting for some kind of sign or for someone to give you the green light? For that one perfect shot to just appear? And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The whole idea is that we're sitting around waiting for an invitation to a party that's already started. The door isn't locked, it's wide open. But it's not going to pull you in. You have to have the guts to actually walk through it.
So let's break this down. We're really talking about two totally different ways of seeing the world, two different mindsets. And this split, well, it's what separates the people who grab opportunities from those who just watch them pass by.
Okay, so look at these two paths. On one side, we've got the waiter. This is the person who's stuck in analysis paralysis, right? They need permission. They need to feel 100% ready. They're trying to eliminate every single risk. But then you've got the actor. This person gets it. They move before they're certain. They try stuff even when they feel unprepared, because they understand that the real risk, the biggest risk of all, is doing nothing. Be honest with yourself. Which column feels a little more like you right now? And here's the thing you absolutely have to get. This has nothing to do with how smart you are or how much natural talent you were born with. Nope. The one thing that separates these two paths is courage. And courage isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. It's a choice, not a personality trait.
All right, so if opportunities don't come with a formal invitation, then how do they show up? You might be surprised. It's not as neat and tidy as you think.
Yeah, forget about that perfect 50-page business plan or that flawless career roadmap. Most of the time, the big breakthroughs don't come from a brilliant strategy. They come from a moment of pure necessity, a have-to moment. It's when you're just trying to stay afloat, trying to survive, that you're forced to get creative and actually make a move. And this is how it works. It's a cycle. First, you just experiment. You try stuff. You're not worried about looking silly. You're just testing things out. That simple act of doing something pushes hesitation out of the way. And once you're moving, you start building momentum. And it's that momentum, that forward energy, that's going to push open doors you didn't even see a minute ago. So why do we let these chances slip by? Well, it's because real opportunity is usually a mess. It shows up at the worst possible time when we're already swamped. It makes us feel like a total imposter, so we hesitate. We tell ourselves, oh, the timing's not right, or, you know what, someone else is way more qualified for this. We have a million excuses. But ready isn't a state you arrive at. It's a result of what you do. Now let's talk about the other side of this coin. What actually happens when we stop moving forward? This is a huge trap, especially if you've already had a bit of success and you're starting to get comfortable. I think we all have this idea that success is a place you get to, like a finish line. You cross it, and that's it. You've made it. But that's a dangerous way to think. The second you believe you've arrived is the exact second you stop growing, and that's when the trouble starts. And you can see that play out right here. The stagnant mindset is all about comfort. It stops taking chances because it's afraid to lose what it has. But the evolving mindset, that one stays hungry. It keeps playing, keeps experimenting. It knows the real enemy isn't failing. It's standing still. It's about being a movement, not a monument. And this is the sad story of how that happens. You have the big rise, the growth. You hit your peak, you're respected, you're the person. But then, phase 3. Comfort. You stop being curious. You stop trying new things. And while you're standing there admiring your success, the world just keeps on changing. And eventually, it just moves on without you. Okay, so we know action is everything, but there's another piece to this puzzle. It's something a little less concrete, but it's incredibly powerful. And that's the kind of personal energy you bring into a room. You've got to remember this. Even in those small moments when you think no one's noticing, someone is. And your biggest break might not come from some perfect, polished performance. It could come from a random moment where people just see the real you, your passion, your character. That authentic spark is way more memorable than polished perfection. So how do you build that kind of presence? It's not about being the loudest person in the room. Real influence comes from 3 things: empathy, actually getting what other people are going through; Observation, paying attention to the details, and really, truly listening. Not just to the words, but to what's not being said. That's how you connect. Just think about that for a second. Before you even open your mouth, people feel your vibe. Are you walking in with an energy of curiosity and excitement? Or are you just trying to fade into the background? That energy you project, that presence, it literally sets the stage for everything that happens next.
All right, let's bring this all home. We've talked about waiting versus acting, how opportunities really work, the risk of getting comfortable, and the power of your own presence. It all boils down to this one last thing. Listen, you can't just dip a toe in. If you want something truly different, something extraordinary, you can't give it a half-hearted effort. Hedging your bets just gets you mediocre results. If you really want to change things, you have to be all in. It all starts with this. Just courage, that split-second decision to move despite the fear.
Then you back that courage up with commitment. You're not just trying it for a day, you're dedicating your energy to it. And finally, it becomes real through action, the simple physical step of actually doing the thing. And that brings us right back to where we started. That open door. It's right there. There's no secret knock, no password you need to know. It just asks for one thing: the boldness to step across the threshold. So the only real question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. The door is open. Are you going to walk through it?